Hello everyone, and welcome back. Heir of Change here, and we recently taught Nurgle that we do indeed hate them. I've got a bunch of your comments that I need to respond to. I'm just going to get to all of those that I can, and we're going to have some fun. So appreciate you joining back. If you are enjoying the campaign and want to make sure you catch each episode, feel free to subscribe and click the bell. And if you don't want to do that, well, just feel free to keep watching. And don't feel bad. Alright, so here we go. We're going to get right back into things. I think I need to end the turn. We have building upgrades we can make. I'm trying to think what I really want to be doing with building upgrades. I think I want to make it to where I can get better recruiting. We made the military cult here, and from this I was able... I haven't gotten Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch yet. Yeah, Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch would be a nice add, so I feel like I want to build this building. We have 2 of these in this province. That seems unnecessary. Let's tear that down and replace it with something else. Discoverability is still well under control in all of these places, so let's do that. We'll build that recruiting thing, and then let's go ahead and end our turn here. Speaking of, we got a renaming to do. I made it the Armor of Change or something like that on the tank without thinking of the only and obvious name. An inductive grunt was one of many who pointed out to me that it should be called the Scheme Tank. So that was a huge miss on my part. So this is indeed the Scheme Tank. Okay? So there we go. The Scheme Tank has been activated. And it's just too bad that we can't get one little touch that I know CA didn't add that would have been really cool, but of course they wouldn't, because it would kind of be a waste of their time. But I still think it'd be cool as if the Scheme Tank, once taken, the steam coming out of it would be like pink and blue, all Tzeentchy, and it would have like a little Tzeentchy aura around it. That would be absolutely amazing. I'm gonna leave those Norskins over there. I'm pretty sure that Osland can. That was actually kind of a risk. I probably should have killed them, but we don't want Osland to get wrecked by them. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to punch these ogres in the face a couple of times. It looks like we already worked Altdorf. And if I remember right, let me go into my schemes real quick though. We hit Altdorf, sack Altdorf, or construct ravaging. That's okay, no, we're good. So we just have to win 15 land battles, and I hate Nurgle. So we have a couple of things that we need to take care of. I'm actually thinking I might go over here and knock out Middenheim and Delbers, and then I might jump across and just kind of come sweeping through these ogres and see if I can work my way a little closer to the Fecundites. I would love to get rid of them, like delete their faction as a whole. That would be great. We can force a rebellion at their home city. I don't think it'll succeed in getting rid of them, but I can at least pester them since we just killed a bunch of their armies and cost them a lot of money. So might as well be the biggest scheming pest that we can be. I mean, that's what we do, right? So Inductive Grunt, of course, said to call it the Scheme Tank. He says that's the only name it can be given. Also, he said it's ironic how you used Kugath against Festus for some Nurgle against Nurgle action. Don't forget the Blue Scribes. That's correct. I do want the Blue Scribes. I don't remember how to get the Blue Scribes. Let's take a look at our... It might be in our objectives. I got them on my other campaign that I played just for fun. The Trail of Parchment becomes clear. I think it's this one right here. Capture 500 battle captives. Okay. Yeah, I think it's this one, the Parchment and Ink. Eleven's guys, where they came from... Yeah, I think it's this Parchment and Ink thing. So let's continue to capture battle captives, and that should get us what we need. Yeah, the Blue Scribes are a ridiculous amount of fun. Look at this, the Ogres already brought up a whole other army and then garrisoned Altdorf with it. These guys just don't get it, do they? Or they might say that I don't get it. I don't know. Either way, I don't really care what they say. It would be nice to be able to get more Cockatrice units or Screamers. Oh, the Mutalith Vortex Beast. We definitely want a Vortex Beast. Oh my gosh, that would be spectacular. It takes so long to get one here, but let's actually start working on it, you know, bit by bit. See if we can work our way up. And then Screamers would be handy anyway. We'll replace our Furies with the Screamers. They can support the Cockatrice. Cockatrice are pretty good units here. We need to take some time to get some Warriors of Chaos into this army as well. Let's go ahead and go siege Altdorf again. I want to stick it to the Ogres, and they've made themselves available, and I don't want to not take them up on their offer, so let's continue the siege here. It says they're going to kill me. Of course, it's taking into account the siege there, like me having to attack the settlement walls. I do want Halt Army really bad, so let's start working on that one. I believe we can force wars now, too. I think we can force peace as well, which makes me think... So, like, for instance, I want Osland to stay there because I want their gold. The Ogres are a big threat to them. I'm the only other threat to them, and I'm not attacking them. So I'm going to go force peace between the Disciples of the Maw and Osland, I believe. Yeah, Osland. So let's go in here to, not schemes, force peace, the Disciples of the Maw, and Osland. There we go. It'll cost me some gold, or some grimoires, but that'll be worth it in terms of like keeping my gold supply safe over there, at least for a little while. I mean, the Ogres can always come and declare war again, and they will. But that'll help for now, and it counts as some good scheming for us. Moreland says, I would buy Air's ugly mug as merch. I would also give it to people who come around unexpected when I don't want them to stay long. Now that's a good idea right there for merch. You know, if you were going to buy it, it has to have a purpose. What? How did they... Does Altdorf have a port? Yeah, it does. Okay. Alright, well, I guess that Ogre army decided to valiantly run away in the face of danger. Cowards. Oh, ran like a bunch of overgrown chickens. I love it. Alright, well, I'll raise Altdorf to the ground a second time, just for good measure. And then we'll come over here and tear down the Altdorf camp. And I'm going to come rip down a few of their settlements over here as well, just to kind of teach them a bit of a lesson. The Fecundites, though, just... Festus is already back, and I need him to not pester Osland. He's going to come try and get these settlements, so... Unfortunately, I can't be in more than one place at once, and I can't afford 2 armies at the moment. Though this helps me be able to afford at least my 1 army for the moment. I'm going to go on this replenishment rate, because it never hurts to replenish quickly and get back into a fight. We do have a little extra money, so let's go ahead and continue to pour a little bit into our recruiting infrastructure. This one would give us the ability to recruit halberds, which are quite good. Pretty expensive, but let's go ahead and make that investment. We would have to recruit them via... global too. Festus is going to ask for peace. I'm not going to give it to him because he's Nurgle and I hate him, and that is requisite. And we're going to, I mean, I hate him both in the sense that I don't like playing his faction, and I just don't like his faction, and I also am not supposed to like his faction because we're playing as Ancient. You know, all those things add up. Mr. Beansponge says, been watching your videos for quite a few years now. I hope you never get bored of making them. Sending love from England. I do not get bored of making videos. I very much enjoy it. However, I'll be honest with you all, and I'm not sure that this will happen, but I have been thinking about taking a bit of an extended break. And not because I don't like making the videos, not because I can't or don't have time or it's not worth it or I don't enjoy it. There's nothing of that sort. I'm not burned out. I don't hate it. The thing is I'm not getting younger. I sit in an office all day, and I do try and do active things, but like right now, it is so dang hot that I can't get outside and go running or walking with my dog or family in the evening because it's just too hot, it's miserable. Eventually, I'm going to lose the daylight, and I won't be able to do it after work, and because they wonderfully crammed us back in the office 5 days a week, even though that's not necessary, I now have no daylight all through the fall and winter to exercise. So I've been kind of wanting to like take some time away to get in shape and take the extra time that I'm spending recording and dedicate it to like just getting myself as physically healthy as I can. I'm not like unhealthy. I'm not in bad shape. I'm not about to croak or something else like that. So don't worry. I'm not like having a health scare or anything. It's just something that I feel like I need to do for myself, but I also struggle with it because I've never taken a big extended break from YouTube, and quite frankly, like, sure, would it be helpful to in order to like get in better shape, sure, but like I don't want to either. Like, I really take pride in trying to keep up with the videos and getting it done, right? So it's hard to kind of feel like you're giving up on something that is your work and that you have a passion for, and you know that you enjoy and stuff. You know, it's difficult. It's difficult. So hopefully I'll understand. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'd be curious to see what you all think. I haven't made any decisions on anything, and if I don't do it, it's not like I'm gonna go crazy or like, you know, have a breakdown or something else like that. It's just something I've thought about, but it's hard for me to actually do because I have had this channel going for a long time, and clearly I love it because I haven't stopped and I just keep going. So yeah, in any case, like I said, I'd be curious to see what you all think, but not something that is, you know, something I'm super worried about, or, you know, worried that I'm gonna go crazy without or with or whatever. But just something I thought I'd bring up since you all brought it up in terms of me being burned out on videos. The answer to that is no. I'm not burned out on videos. I like making them. So as long as you all are enjoying them, I like making them. And I'm fortunate. I have a full-time job. A lot of the YouTubers who do Total War content do not work a full-time job. Some do, some don't. But I have a family, I have a full-time job. I cannot dedicate as much of my time to this as I would like. Trust me, I would love to make a ton more videos, and I enjoy it. And you know, if I was able to dedicate full-time to it, man, I would be absolutely going to town. Because like I said, I thoroughly enjoy it. Now that said, it's just not what I can do, but what I can do is bring you the best that I can. And I feel like I do that to the best of my ability here. Are there times where I could do a little better? Yeah, probably so, but again, I feel like all things considered, with how much that I have to take care of, you know, with the family and the job and all that stuff, like I feel like I'm doing fine. Like I don't feel like I'm cheating anybody of life experience or something here. Let's come over. There's another tower coming up over here. Is that under? Yeah, it's under construction, so I'll keep an eye on it. But we're gonna go ahead and move into the settlement. We busted a big hole in the settlement. I'm gonna push Kugath over here. Push those guys there. Push the scheme tank and flamers up. My guys are getting stuck on like some routing units there. It's just kind of annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Let's see if I can get to another comment here real quick. I need to pull back my chromatic abominations. They were fighting these nobblers. Duncan says, thank you again for the fantastic new series. All the best from a longtime fan. Thanks, Duncan. Appreciate it. See, it's stuff like that. People like you that make it so hard for me to even, like, seriously consider even, like, a temporary break from this kind of stuff, because I know that you all enjoy the videos, and I love bringing it to you. I really do. So Half says, always love a Tzeentch campaign. There's something about seeing all the blue and pink horrors shooting colored missiles. It's beautifully perfect. It is really aesthetically pleasing. Despite me not having any real love for pastels, not because I hate pastels, they're just not something that I've taken a keen interest in. It does look very good. Like the battles and stuff with Tzeentch are some very good looking battles, and definitely a lot of fun. Let's go after this ogre over here. Got these flamers. I might be able to come put an attack on them too. So there we go. And then I've got these ogres all, yeah, they're routing over here. They're terrorized by the cockatrice, and I don't blame them. I would probably be terrified of a cockatrice as well. That is not something that I would prefer to run into. I've got some more units. Let's push them all in here. Just gonna move up. Trying to get rid of this tower here. We actually took some pretty good shots off of it, but I think we're just about done with it. It's hurt my screamers a little bit. I've got one more set of ogres back here. Nothing significant to deal with. We've got more towers coming. That one is feeding off of that. Up there, Lord. Yeah, okay, so I'm trying to get over here as quick as I can. And capture that main point. And we're not capturing this point over here. I'm gonna go ahead and just come attack these ogre bulls over here. Start shooting them up with the things that I can. We're getting our barriers back with our flyers, and we got another tower to attack over here. Okay. And let's go ahead and get to a few more of these. It says, a mod I really like from Nurgle that might help you enjoy them more is Nurgle's Pestilent Glories by Devon. I'll check it out. But if you get a chance to comment again, tell me what it is about the mod that you think would be good. Does it add different units? Does it make different playstyles available with them? More lords? Like, I'm curious what it is that you're enjoying about it. But you know, I'm all for if someone can come in and help make something better. It's definitely nice to have. Okay, so we are capturing yet another point, and this is going to put all of the control points to our favor, and we have gained a victory here, so not too difficult. Able to get it done. Gainward says, I feel like I've watched you for a billion years, and I'm glad you're still around. I am older than a fossil, as I mentioned before. Thank you, Gainward. Appreciate all the years. It's good to have you here through the billions. Sileria says, referring to your discussion around the 20-minute mark, as so many people have said, there are just so many unacceptable bugs in the game, from meme-level Nakai unable to recruit Croxagores. That is meme-worthy, like, absolutely. It says they need to redo his whole horde mechanic. To see battles, half the time causing a crash to desktop. Would be interested to hear your take, if you're able, on CA's soon-to-be-dead on arrival Hyenas game, and how that may have siphoned a lot of resources. So there's a few things that I can speak to here, and a few things that I can't. I don't know whether Hyenas will be dead on arrival. It's hard to say with those games. I do feel like I have seen a ton of people, including my own beloved franchise, not that I own, but one that I loved for a long time, of Halo, kind of trying to copy Fortnite in terms of like getting a lot of pay for skins and stuff like that, and failing miserably, and then being left. Is there one that total favor Changeling? Where does it enemy captured? Okay, so that's our count. But if we devour them, does that like not count? I don't know. Let's see what happens if we just do that one, because then I want to go look at that. Yep, okay, so that is it. Okay, we kept eating all the captives. I guess now I can continue to eat the captives, but we completed that trail of parchment. The blue scribes seek a place to collect their parchments. If I remember right, we have to build a building for them. So let's, it says move any character to Nuln. Well, we're going to Nuln right now. And I mean now. Like, no more delay on that. Well, actually, you know what I could do is I could send our Tzeentch cultist down there. By the way, I thought this was like Apache Tzeentch cultist. All right, if it's not, it has to be. So let me move my mic out of the way so I can do this. So this is Apache cultist, and we'll call him like Fireface or something, or Ugly Mug. There we go. So this is Patchy Cultist of the Ugly Mug. We're gonna send him on a mission. It says to move any character to Nuln. I'm just gonna move him over that way. And now he'll probably die because it's me sending him out on a mission. That's very possible. I'll replace him with the weird spawn for now, and that way we can continue beating the ogres or beating up Festus, you know, all that kind of stuff. So we'll just kind of continue down that road. I don't really have as much money as I want to spend right now, so let's go ahead and end the turn. But yeah, so let me continue to speak to this. So as far as like the meme stuff with not being able to recruit Croxagores with Nakai, I thought I heard someone say that they may be fixing that, though I could be wrong. But yes, there's a lot of things like that, like me constantly talking about how when I chase units off the map, they're just getting bumped and they're not getting damaged. There's weird collision mechanics. I don't get a lot of crashes. I haven't had the sea battles crash me to desktop, but I'm sure that stuff happens, and just because it doesn't happen to me doesn't mean it's not happening. So yes, they absolutely should be paying attention to all the little details like that. In my opinion, if you're a company and you want your customer to be extremely satisfied and then continue to be a customer and bring new customers to you, right? Because that's a very effective way of getting more business, is when your customers are your best marketing. And in my opinion, if you want that as a game company, you do have to pay attention to all those little details. CA does pay attention to some of the details, so I don't want to make it sound like they never do anything, because they do. However, they definitely need to improve on a lot of the little details like that. So only having a game update whenever there's a DLC. that isn't often enough until you get people really satisfied with where the game is at. And then as far as like Hyenas go, is Hyenas going to flop when it comes out? I mean, if I had to take a guess, yes, because I just don't like. I don't see a lot of those games coming out anymore, like the shooter games that are just, you know, leapfrogging each other in popularity. It seems to me like that genre was really big, and it's kind of gotten a little stale. Could they come and break the mold and make something new that everybody loves? I guess. But I don't think so. It's a hard genre to break into. The people who are really big in that genre just never leave the same games they're on. They play the crap out of those games. They keep going back to those games, and it is almost impossible to ever get them off of those games. And it's because they have their game. They spend, you know, it's like a job for them. They spend their time on it, and they don't want to move on to another game. So do I think it'll be a major Smash success? Again, just guessing, not like wishing anybody bad or anything else like that, because I don't want CA to fail, because then that means I might lose my Total War series that I love. But no, I don't think it'll be a Smash success. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then so be it. I'll admit it, and that's fine. Is it taking away effort that they could be spending on Warhammer 3? I don't know, right? They're going to tell us that these are different teams and that it doesn't have an impact. I mean, I guess it depends. Whenever they started development of Hyenas, if they literally hired all new headcount to work on Hyenas, then I guess technically it's not eating away at any of the help that Warhammer 3 could use. Now that said, maybe you should have hired a little bit of headcount and just spent more time on Warhammer 3, right? I think that argument could be made. Focus on the Total War series. Now what I would say is that if you were going to hire more headcount as CA, I certainly wouldn't do it on a shooter game. Like 100% no. Absolutely not. Could CA make a good shooter game? I think they could. They've made good games. But I think that CA's bread and butter is strategy. And I think they should stick to it unless they have a really good reason to get out of it. And the reason I say that is because I just feel like that their resources could be better spent. People are clamoring. They are like almost sick for another huge historical Total War title. Total War Pharaoh's coming. Pharaoh may be fun, and people may have a lot of fun with it, but it just, I don't think it's what people are looking for in terms of, like, they have this big craving for another huge historical title. They really want Medieval 3, or some kind of big Empire 2, or some other big title. They want a big title. One of those full-blown historical ones. Something that gets the kind of treatment that the Warhammer trilogy has, right? Something that gets a big title release, plenty of DLC, and then maybe even like sequels to it, kind of like Warhammer. I mean, think about how cool it'd be, for instance, if you made like this awesome new Total War engine, and you made it Medieval 2 or Medieval 3, right? So I'm just speculating here. Let's say that they did that, Medieval 3, and you release DLC for it, you support it for a couple of years, and then you take that engine and you tweak it and you build on it, and now it becomes kind of like a big expansion to it, or a sequel. Maybe it's like Warhammer 2, right? Maybe you can just make expansions for it, right? If you build it right, maybe you just make an expansion. That way you don't have to sell a whole new game. But then you make it into like Empire Total War 2. And, and then maybe you have other expansions that come off of it, that do other things where you can use it. Like, I feel like that they're not taking advantage of their core good enough. Warhammer has been an amazing trilogy. I'm glad to have it. And this game has certainly had its issues in terms of the way that they've launched it, and really needed better support after launch. And it took a long time to get anywhere near that level of support that it should have had. But that said, they're still really fun games. And it makes me sad that they did let that happen, because it is so good. And anyway, I'm starting to ramble. Let me try and get back on point here. So, do I think that Hyenas is dragging away from their support in the other Total War games? I mean, inevitably, yes. Because if you're working on anything that's not Total War, that's work that could have been spent on Total War. Now, it is up to CA as a company to determine their direction, to determine what they want to make, and that's just up to them. You know what I mean? Build a great library. So, Parchment Ink, ensure that the following building has been constructed. Cult of Change. All right, we have to build a Cult of Change. We could probably do that at Altdorf here. The Cult of Change is, I think, this building. No, it's this one. No, that's the Ravaging Host, my bad. Where's the Cult of Change? Twisted Valerie, Bird Box. I'm trying to remember where this is at. It's one of these here. Is it this one? Carnate 4. Yeah, there it is. Cult of Change. All right, so we need to build this one here. So I'm going to start building that. Discoverability is a little bit high here. And it's going to... Well, I mean, I actually could just switch... I could just switch this building. We don't need that building there. I can put one in that gets rid of more discoverability. Is this our next quest battle? Or is that the quest battle? The Trickster Staff. We do need to fight for the Trickster Staff. If I remember right, though, it's a pretty tough battle. So I'm actually gonna hold off on that one. Cannot adopt the stand. Insufficient winds of magic. I don't have enough winds of magic to teleport. That sucks. I guess since I can't teleport over to here. Looks like the Fecundite. Well, we have a whole bunch of ogres over here now that are tearing apart the Empire lands. They had 2 or 3 armies this way, so I'm actually going to head back over towards Patchy. But we did get done with what we needed to. I'm going to pull him back towards our army. Get him back in the army. Yeah, see, the ogres now have a big army at Hergig. We don't want them to go after Wolfenburg. Okay, we can continue to force peace on them, though, and mess them up, essentially. Because the ogres really snowball bad, and I'm trying to minimize them here. It looks like the Fecundites took a bit of a hit back here too. They lost some territory, so that's good news. And the reason I say that is somebody like, what, are you trying to help the Empire? Yeah, I mean, I am, so I can kind of, steal their money and twist them and scheme them to my ways, and I don't want the demons coming and ruling all my fun. That's my fun, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the Changeling, not them. It's my fun to have. So, they need to get off of it. Alright, we don't have to worry about discoverability a ton, but when Altdorf gets settled, which it looks like it's about to by Boris, yep, then we're going to have to worry about discoverability. So I may actually have to tear down... I may actually not build that building there. We'll build it somewhere else because we got plenty of options. I'm going to tear that one down. Then I'm going to put this building in. There's one of these that... Yeah, see, this one drops the discoverability by quite a lot. And we can use it to improve relations with the humans, which will, of course, just buy us... their capabilities. Let's go start building that Cult of Change here.
The Empire.
Or hang on. No, I'm building the Cult of Change there. Okay, we don't need to build that. Let's tear that one down. We were building this building chain here. Alright, there we go. Okay. Let's head over here. Patchy can keep heading back towards us. I'm gonna come over here and wreck the ogres at Nuln. And knock their settlements out here and leave it to like Ostland or whatever to take it over. Because Ostland continues to make me a lot of money here with their gold. In fact, I think I'm going to improve this building and start stealing even more of their gold. That's a considerable amount more money, and I do want a second army eventually, so it kind of makes sense. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Alright, let's end this turn. So anyway, yeah, long story short, it probably is taking away from their ability to focus on total war, which I don't think is a good idea for their company, but they get to make that choice, not me. So, anyway, there you go. There's my thoughts on it. Sorry I went long-winded on that one. Let's see. Project says, issue with Nurgle for me, admittedly, is the fact that they do not have normal recruitment, which hurts you so much earlier on, but they also come out damaged and don't have enough replenishment baseline. Yeah, exactly. It's just boring and slow. Like, their campaign map is boring and slow. Their battle is boring and slow. Everything about them is boring and slow. They don't have lords with exciting mounts. Like, they do have the demons, I guess, which are okay. They're not bad. But that's it. Like, they're just boring. Like, so, Nurgle is boring. It needs work, in my opinion. I agree with you. So, yeah, that's... I forgot about that mechanic, though, where they have to recruit. That's the Thrones of Britannia mechanic that I don't know why people wanted that. I don't know why CA thought we wanted it, but apparently they do. And I don't think so. If I siege here, let's go ahead and encircle this for a minute. I was thinking about sieging, making them come out in the open against me, see if it counts as a land battle. They do have an extra army they can bring in to reinforce, but I mean, I can probably beat all of them. I don't know. It's a big bet. I'm not actually really well set for fighting ogres, but we could try. Let's go ahead and siege them. It'll be worth the risk here because I think...
Begone, or I'll take your hands.
Settlements under siege. Just run out of supplies. They are going to suffer attrition. I don't know. They're just going to bring up another army and face me. If I attack them now, though, do I have to fight inside a settlement? No, it's open ground. Let's just attack them. Get this over with now. So let's go ahead and fight this battle. All right. Let's see. Necro says, Aaron, you may not love Grandfather Nurgle, but he still loves you. He even bestowed you with one of his pestilent gifts. What, my ugly mug? Was that from Nurgle? Man, that guy's nice. Let's see. Daniel says, Aaron, I've been watching your videos for years. What would you say the best faction and lord to choose if you're just starting out in the game? Good question. Good question. I think Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, is a good one for Warhammer 3 if you're starting out. Cathay is pretty straightforward, easy to understand. Their caravans can make you a lot of money. Their troops are quite solid. And if you just go watch some of my videos and see how I build those early armies and stuff, I think you'll have some good ideas for, you know, how to get things kicked off the right way. But yeah, I would recommend Cathay as a starter faction. They're quite good. If you don't want to play Cathay as a starter faction, Tyrion and the High Elves, honestly, probably just about any of the High Elves other than Alethanar are going to be pretty solid starting factions. And Alethanar is possible too, depending on how much skill you already have in the Total War area. So just, yeah, that's kind of what I would think there as far as starting factions. But, you know, yeah, I think those are good ones. So if you need more advice on it, you can ask me, but that's where I would leave that for now. Okay, do you have these flamers here? They can shoot the ogres over the top of my lines, and I'll keep these units on the flanks for inevitably when the saber-toothed cats come flinging around us. Alright, let's start the battle. I'm going to move up and start using some blue fire. And then my steam tank, if we can lure the enemies just a little closer, they'll be able to open fire. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and pull the tank up and start shooting. What's my range here? 175 meters. So we got to get pretty close to launch this. Yeah, I'll get some more here. Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce any of this, but Ulk is what I'll call it, ULQ. It says, I'm going to get the DLC purely for this Lord, I think, which he's talking about, the Changeling, because that's what we're playing right now. Being able to travel across the map, take down whoever, and then play as that Lord, if needed, sounds fun. And if you're sniping legendary lords anyway, you're getting all their unique buffs. Pokemon, here we go, gotta catch them all. Yeah, so this is a unique one. This is definitely a unique lord. And I at first wasn't huge on the Changeling, but it's grown on me as I've kind of realized, like you said, the fun of just kind of, I don't have to sit around managing settlements. I don't have to sit around protecting an empire. I can just go and start fighting people. Who I want, when I want, how I want. So I'm a big fan of it, and it's, like I said, it's really grown on me, so I enjoy it. But, you know, whether or not you want to buy the DLC, of course, is up to you. This person's just saying they are, and I agree about liking the mechanics of this character. Peter says, the Nurgle hate's real. I have to be honest, they were the faction I played as, and I kind of enjoyed it. It's definitely different, which may be why I liked it. Yeah, they are different in the terms of, like, they're crazy slow, and it requires, I mean, like, kind of a very different play style altogether. But yeah, they aren't for me, but Jack does say, even though you hate them, Papa Nurgle still loves you. Well, I'm glad he does, because it's not reciprocal. And then he says, Air, your videos are 1 billion times better than whatever Mr. Beast puts out. Well, I don't think that's true, because he gets about 1 trillion times more views than me, and that's probably the way it is, but I appreciate the fact that you think so, and that means a lot to me, despite the fact that I don't get the kind of views he does, nor do I need to, but thank you. Francesco, thanks for being a channel member for so long. He says, yay, finally a positive note by the algorithm gods, or was that just what the schemer wanted you to think? Well, I mean, it could be. It could just be us getting schemed by YouTube into thinking that you all have a bunch of likes. No, you all really do. It's very consistent. The percentage of likes on my videos is always very high, and that's just, I think, you all saying thanks, and I appreciate that. I always get, good reaction from you. Now, unfortunately for me, despite the fact that my videos get a very high percentage of likes, YouTube's algorithm absolutely hates me and almost never recommends my videos to anyone. And so I don't know what has caused that, and I guess ultimately I just don't care. Why? I'm just going to keep making my videos. I don't care what they do. They're stupid. I'm not going to sit around fussing about it or be fussed about it. It is what it is. So like I said, I don't care. Not interested in fighting it, not interested in trying to learn more or clickbait or change what I do. I'm going to do the videos the way I like, and YouTube can give me the views or not. I don't care. So it is what it is. So there we go. A little bit of a punch in the face there from the Ogres. That was polite of them. I do have units rolling up this flank here. We got units coming at us from absolutely everywhere. We're getting some really good damage. I transformed into Kugath out front. I am needing more magic. That's kind of strange, actually, that I don't have any more magic than I do. Typically, we are teaming with magic. Alright, Steam Tank under fire. Let's kind of come up. I'm going to bring some Screamers in here. Come out here and attack these guys a little. Hopefully my Flamers can get some shots in here on these big Ogres. I'm going to actually come down here and attack Scrag, and then Papa Kugath is still out here tanking these Ogres, so let's see if we can take advantage of that. I got some guys coming around my flank out here. It's not great. Magic, please? Like, oh, our reserve's already empty. I guess that they just decided I wasn't going to have any magic this battle. Well, that sucks, because Tzeentch kind of relies on magic. And we ain't got none. Alright. Well, magic or no magic, I'm coming at you anyway, and I intend to win. Alright, my pinks are not on a defensive stance, and they should be. I mean, as in, like, I forgot to set them on a defensive stance. Let's see if we can fill Scrag full of magic here. We're being pursued by this idiotic Ogre Bull unit here, too. I'm gonna dive down and attack it. Our Chromatic Abominations are getting a little bit pounded by Scrag. We got a bunch of units that are not really loving life because they're not made to be anti-large, but they're also not going to be weak enough to just fall apart in the face of a somewhat minor Ogre Assault. We lost our Chromatic Abominations. That's okay, though. We need to replace it with a better unit anyway. So I'm not letting that get to me too much. We shoot this guy on the way out the door. In fact, go chase him down. Kugath is just absolutely tanking up front, which is great. I need to send some... We got Gorgers up front on us here. Let's get rid of those. Steam Tank's doing just absolute stellar work here. We just got a couple more Gorgers here. Everything else is routing. Can you go chew his face off, please? Thanks. An explosion ability, the Lamprey's Bite. Sweet. Forgot about that. Need to make sure I use that from here on out. Alright, so I'm going to rip Scrag a new Scrag hole here. Actually, I guess we don't have to because he was in a settlement, so I think he's out. And this, of course, won't count as a land battle because I made a... I don't think it will. He sallied out. I'll go see. I'll look at the count. It should technically count as one because it wasn't in a settlement. But since it was initiated at a settlement, I don't know what the game considers it. Because CA, makes it to where some of the small settlement battles don't occur anymore, and they're outside the settlement, so... we are going to raise their settlement to the ground. I love how you sent me back like half a turn in the opposite direction that I didn't want to go. So thank you. That's very kind.
With these
very sarcastic, of course.
So change.
Preserves. Okay. Let's get some Irving and piercing bolts. Okay. Excellent. Alright, well we got the Blazing Squealers here. We lost our blue, and I probably... Oh my gosh. Oh no, we already have the Steam Take. I thought it was going to let us get another one. I was like, what? Is it? No. No. We have another one? Every time... Oh my gosh, we're going to have double Scheme Tanks. Oh my goodness. That is... Wow, I thought that was too good to be true, and it's not. It's just true. There we go. So we're gonna get the double steam tank here. Oh man, well this army is gonna be potent now, especially when we get some Chaos Warriors to replace those Zangors. And not that I don't like Zangors, they are good, but we are definitely gonna want some Chaos Warriors to replace them. All right, we finished the wave manipulation. We can now halt an army, which will be quite helpful. And now we're just going to do this temporal switch here so that we can force people to break alliances and continue to be scheming and annoying. And speaking of scheming and annoying, it's time for us to force another rebellion back at the Fecundites. So, suck it, Nurgle. I hate you. Alright. So we dealt with that, and I do believe that it is time for me to end this. Let's see. Fox says, would you ever consider doing another modded campaign? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. At some point, I will definitely do another modded campaign, so the answer to that is yes. I'm going to establish a trickster cult here. Oh, no, we can't. All right, my bad. There has to be someone there, but we'll deal with it later. Let's just keep moving towards the Ogres. Push them back, beat them up. It looks like the Ogres are getting their due up here at Hairgig as well. I think Ostland is finally fighting their own. The Fecundites came back to Middenheim, so old Toddy is not doing his job the way that he should be. So well done, Todd Bringer. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this episode. I feel like we're getting stuff done. We're a lot closer to getting the blue scribes. We do have some more building to do before we can get them. Yeah, we're building that at Altdorf. Let's actually end one more turn at Altdorf, and then I'm going to start that new building so that I can... see, Hairgig we need. I'm just going to put in some buildings here. Let's do a Raider's Bounty. This one here, there we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end another turn so that we can start that next building towards the blue scribes. We have to get all the way to that tier 5 building. It's going to take a while, but getting the blue scribes will 100% be worth it. They are a lot of fun. Alright, so Cult of Lies all the way up to the Cult of Change. So we got 5 turns. We're going to invest in that. Hey, in the comments, you all make some comments to tell me don't forget to build the Cult of Change at Altdorf on the next episode, because I'm sure we'll go through 5 turns. So please help me keep an eye on it. Hope you all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more content in Total War Warhammer 3.